There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino Is the Name. Hey, yo, what's going on right now? You watching Casino Is the Name, and if you want to be successful, do this one thing. That's surround yourself with the right people. Surrounding yourself with the right people can be so impactful to your career, your health, your wealth, your consciousness, your mentality. It can be so impactful in a positive way versus surrounding yourself with around negative people, or even just one negative person saying something in your ear, exposing you to things, just influencing you. Believe it or not, we all soak up a part of the people we're around. So in my experience, I prefer to be the least successful person in my environment. If I'm the least successful person in my environment, then I have something to show me, or I have somebody who can show me how to become more successful. And if I'm the most successful person in my environment, then everyone around me, maybe they can learn from something that I'm doing, but I may not get something that would help me get to the next level. You see what I'm saying? But I could actually end up being influenced to do something negative. As a matter of fact, just for example, Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk, billionaire. He's the owner of the Tesla company, like the founder of the Tesla company. Genius, brilliant, right? And very, very, very successful. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with smoking, trees, ganja or anything like that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing that for somebody who may be interested in that field. But he was doing an interview, and the guy said, "Hey, do you ever smoke this?" And he was like, "No, I ain't never smoked it before." And then that person said, "Hey, well, why don't you try it, take a hit?" So he said, "All right." So he takes a hit of it. His stocks, the Tesla stocks, dropped. I'm sure they lost millions in a moment, just instantly. And it's because he was influenced to do something by someone who was much less successful than himself, and on a platform that was being presented to the world. It was a video, and it was something that I don't know if he would have been exposed to had he. I'm not saying that people don't smoke. Of course, billionaires probably smoke, but I'm saying that the way that it happened, he didn't have somebody who was, probably either gone through that experience or just knows better, because he should have known better than to do that, on video at least. But to even say, "Hey, that ain't a good look," and that was just one person, lost him millions in a second, millions and millions, just the stock just dropped. And so, a lot of the business people lost confidence that he was going to be able to make good decisions moving forward and stuff like that. And I'm sure he's built that reputation back up. But this is a reputation that he had been building over his whole life, right? And it could be that quick that a silly mistake or a silly being exposed to something like that just cost him millions overnight by somebody who is not as focused on what he's trying to build to, what he's trying to get to. And so that's just a light example of somebody who's even billions up, how they can still be impacted by something so simple. But definitely, if you're somebody who grows up in a gang-related environment, you're influenced to join the gang. You join the gang. All your friends got guns. All your friends are robbing people. Even if you don't decide that maybe I'm gonna rob somebody, you're used to it. That's not a foreign thing to you. That you're desensitized to it. So maybe one day you just say, "Oh, you know what? I'm just take this because it's no big deal to you because you're not doing armed robbery like somebody else or the people that you grew up around. And maybe you just felt like that day, it's no big deal because in your mind, it is not that serious. But that can get you 10 years, 20 years, depending on the severity of the situation. And it not even be something that you even necessarily needed, but you're just so desensitized to the situation that you're not even fully grasping how severe the situation is or how odd the situation is compared to the masses or to how the rest of the world sees it, because you've just been exposed to this kind of environment over and over. And then at the same time, if you come from, let's say you're not that talented, let's say you maybe not even that smart, right? But everybody you hang around that you grew up with, your entire neighborhood is smart. Your entire neighborhood has computers. Your entire neighborhood, let's say you were somebody who grew up next door to Bill Gates or was a childhood friend of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. You are probably going to be more computer savvy or more advanced just by getting the 1 or 2% from what they're exposing you to in that world. You're probably going to be still 10 times more advanced or more knowledgeable than somebody who has never even, who didn't grow up like that. And you don't have to be the smartest person. That could just be, just that little light exposure. You may know. Let me give you an example. So I took networking class. Now I was out the hood, came out the hood, and I was in high school. And at my school, one of the schools I went to, they offered Cisco networking. And for my circle, I was very computer literate, computer savvy, and I think we might have had one of the only computers in the hood. It was like maybe two houses that I know that we used to go to that had a computer. My house was one. And it was an old computer, it wasn't the best or anything like that, but we had one, right? So I thought that I was good. I'm like, so I'm going to take this networking class. I took a computer programming class and I go to a networking class. So first day of computer networking, somebody says, hey, you go, talking to me, he said, hey, you pass me the RJ45. And I looked around and I looked at the guy who was next to me and I asked him, I said, man, what's the RJ45? He was brand new in the class too. He said, I have no idea, right? Now, this class that I'm in, probably 80% of the class were like super nerds, like I'm talking about like geeked out, right? And me and this guy, we like, man, I have no idea what an RJ45 is. So I tell him, I said, hey man, what's an RJ45? He laughed and laughed and he says out loud, yo, this guy don't know what an RJ45 is. And so they all laughed. Everybody, well, I ain't gonna say all of them laughed, but you could tell the people who did not know what an RJ45 was because they were looking like me. They were like, well, what is it? And so, but most of the people laughed. And then they said, so somebody said, hey, it's just a big RJ11. Right? Like that was going to help me. And I had no idea what an RJ11 was because I don't know what RJ45 is either, right? Like, I don't know. And all it was, the cord that you plug in, the wall for the old phone lines, that's an RJ11, right? Like that small one. And then, it looks just like the DSL. The DSL, when it goes into your modem, is bigger. Looks just like a phone line, but it's a little bit bigger. That's an RJ45. So I didn't know that. I had no idea. I wasn't exposed to that. But I was around a group of people who had been exposed to that since they were probably like 6 or 7 years old. And they actually called it the actual term versus us saying, hey, man, pass me that cord or whatever, because we don't know what it's called. And so just surrounding yourself, man, it can be amazing the turnout that you can get on your life. Anyway, right now you watch Casino Is the Name. Hope that you like this video, share this video, come in on this video. It is definitely important to surround yourself with the right people versus the wrong people. Anyway, watch Casino Is the Name. Chill. There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. It's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino is the name.